Hey guys, this is Deathdealer. Welcome back to another episode on the AutoCraft server. For the first time in quite a long time, we're over at the witch farm perimeter because, let's just say, we don't use this anymore. We have a very large scale project we're doing in this episode, and if you've read the title and seen the thumbnail, you already know what it is, and I think we should get rid of this thing. So yeah, last time, just over there out of render, we made the super duper villager breeder that produces a hell of a lot of villagers, and we're going to be using them today to make a mega iron farm. Now, I was originally planning to make one that produces about 100,000, iron per hour, but that required an insane amount of villagers and I didn't think it was feasible, so we're going to be cutting it down to we're going to aim for 50,000, but if we don't do that, we'll probably go for around 30,000, but we'll see how that project turns out. Now, since this is going to be a fairly large project, we're going to need a perimeter for it, and I really didn't want to dig out another perimeter because those things take a while and take a bit of setup. So what I decided was we'd dismantle this witch farm because look at it, we have a new raid farm that produces an insane amount of witch drops, a lot more than what this thing produces. So yeah, why don't we dismantle this thing and we can use this area. We can also finally dismantle the world eater and the return stations over there and reclaim some of those redstone resources because yeah, that stuff would be quite useful for other projects. We will eventually be redecorating, or I should say decorating the walls of this perimeter. I'm working on a design for that in a creative world, but that won't be for quite a while and it's going to require an insane amount of resources. So, to start off, why don't we dismantle this witch farm and then we can start making the preparations we need to start work on this iron farm. Alright, so we have the witch farm removed, and after I finished removing that I decided, let's remove the world eater as well. So the world eater is now non-existent. I wasn't able to save all the resources we got from the witch farm, but I saved every single thing we got from the world eater itself. So, in these 3 chests is all the materials we used during this project. Well, from this project, that's how much we got. It feels strange having this perimeter empty again. It's almost as if the whole witch farm project just never happened. But yeah, this area is now primed for the development of the iron farm. Now I've already gathered all the materials, so let's head back to base and we can show off all the stuff we're going to need for this thing and then we can get started. Alright, so it took me quite a while to gather all the resources we needed. I actually had to go and buy some stone because yeah, we needed a lot of stone for this project. So in this chest, as you can see, we have 9, 18, 27, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42 shulker boxes full of materials. These resources are enough to build one of the iron farm with 100,000 iron ingots per hour that was originally going to do, but I'm going to scale it down to around 25,000 per hour because then it's going to have less of an impact on the server, combined with the fact that we're going to put the iron farm in the perimeter, which means it should have the minimum amount of lag possible. So yeah, 25,000 iron per hour really isn't all that bad. So obviously I've got more than enough resources for this project. I'll have a lot of stuff in, let's just say, in excess. So what we're going to do is we're going to transfer all this over to the perimeter. We'll probably just throw it in one of these storage room chests for the old witch farm, and we can start working on this thing. What we're going to do is we'll get the farm all built up first, and I'll do a nice little third-person time-lapse for it because we can use that for a shot. And then what we'll do is off camera I'll get all the villagers and stuff in place because that is a very tedious process and you guys have seen me move villagers countless times. So with that being said, let's turn on super fast build mode and get this iron farm constructed. And there we have it, folks. The iron farm is finished. It's a lot smaller than the 100,000 per hour I was originally going for. That would have been 4 times larger than this, but to be honest, with the way this perimeter is scaled, I think this is a perfect size. We're in spectator mode just because it's easier to take a look at this thing than, you know, flying around using an elytra. So let's go and take a closer look. So as with the iron farms, it runs off the similar concept of scaling villagers. For this farm, it's all running around a pillager right here. Obviously we've named it so that this guy doesn't despawn. However, you may notice he isn't holding a crossbow because let's just say he could shoot at the villagers. In the design, well, I'll leave a link to the design, this design in the description. That design used villagers holding crossbows, but I really wasn't comfortable with that because I thought maybe he could damage villagers and stuff, so that, yeah, it would stop the farm from working. So what I basically did was I collected a bunch of pillagers from the pillager outpost that I use to get Bad Omen. I know there's another outpost nearby, but I didn't want to go over there in case anyone was working there, because I know for a fact a few people have been interested in that one in particular. So basically what I had to do was I had to trap these guys, stand precariously on a block next to them, and basically get them to shoot at me until their crossbows broke. So yeah, that took quite a lot of time. You may also notice as well that these villagers have the swamp skin, and there's another reason for that as well. So basically, rather than showing it on camera because, well, in the time lapse, because that would have just took forever, it probably took longer to move these villagers in than building the farm itself. So basically what happened was we moved the villagers from the villager breeder over there, moved them all into place, and then I dismantled the infrastructure to get them here because I thought, yeah, that's it done, I don't need to worry about this stuff anymore. However, I neglected to make sure these areas were spawn proofed. As you see right here, there's a bit of redstone which stops mobs from spawning. So at one point what happened was I flew up in the air, and then I came back and I noticed that a lot of these guys were either dead or they were converted into zombies, which was really kind of annoying. So I had to kill the zombie villager types, and then what I had to do was I had to bring some more villagers over here, and then I just bred up a bunch here in this swamp because it saved me a lot of time. Moving these guys takes up quite a large amount of time. So yeah, we have 4 sections like this, 2 layers tall. We have some redstone coming down, and whenever this farm is activated, these pistons will distract, revealing the pillager, meaning the villagers can see them, and then spawning in mobs. In fact, why don't we do a little demonstration? That's one of the things I like about this farm, it can actually be turned off. So let's just activate it, wait a moment, and there you go. We have some iron golems spawning. Now the best thing about this as well, it's very lag friendly because it doesn't spawn continuously like my other previous iron farms have. So it spawns iron golems in pulses. So all the iron golems will spawn at the same time, they'll die at the same time, and then the next batch will spawn at the same time again. So yeah, why don't we turn this thing off? I have it to make sure this area is spawn proofed, because you might have seen in the time lapse, there was a lot of slime spawning, especially down here, so I had to make sure that I spawn proof the edges of this thing because slimes can still spawn. Also, if we come on down here, you can see my super sophisticated storage system. Yeah, I know, it's so advanced. So that is the next thing we need to do. We need to get a decent storage system in place. But before we do that, we need to go and get the resources for it because it's going to cost us quite a little bit. Alright, so we've got a little storage system in place. So if we just stand right here and look straight up, that's where the items will come through. We line them up against that trapdoor so that they don't fall all over the place here. There is a chance we'll still fall on the edges here, but you know what, it's fine. Because this entire storage system is temporary, because we're going to be doing something a teensy little bit different later on down the line. So it's just a simple water stream going into a bunch of Impulse SV item sorters, which currently don't have any items in them, so anything can just flow down and into the system. In fact, I think I forgot a core part of this. If we just pop on down here, yeah, I forgot to put in the redstone torches right there. If we get the slime blocks, there we go, and what I'll do is I'll just place a couple blocks down here, and we can get these last bits in place. But yeah, I am really happy with this project. It's came together fairly quickly, and it should supply us with more than enough iron to meet our needs. And I'm actually having trouble placing these. That's what I get for using, what do you call them? The slime blocks. Also this guy, let's just kill him. and get these last few done. So yeah, that's it for this area in this episode. We're not going to be doing anything else here because we've already spent a ridiculous amount of time. This episode is running very late. I've probably spent about 20 hours on this project by itself. So let's go and do some other things. First of all, I need to empty my inventory because we've got a lot of junk and stuff. I made way more redstone stuff than I needed to. So I'll go and throw it over in that storage system over there. Alright, so we're over in the shopping district right now because next we're going to be doing the villager stuff over at that shop because we have 2 orders for 2 different villager breeders which we're going to be tackling. But before we do that, we're going to be heading into this shop which belongs to Lego Flame. And also look at the size of that thing. Fabageg have finally built a building. Well, I would say finally. They've made their headquarters before we have. And it's looking awesome. I love the overall shape and stuff like that. I do think that these flat sides here might want an accent block or something, but it's looking awesome. I love the shape and all that stuff, and it's really making the shopping district, you know, feel more alive. But yeah, the reason we're over at Lego Flames plushie shop is because last night we were all in voice chat. It was like 3 AM for me because yeah, I don't really have a life, and it was made clear that these Kirby's, let's just say they're quite popular and they're limited stock. Once they're gone, they're gone. And as you can see, there's only one left because I bought one last night. And whenever we do our office thing, that's where this is going to go. But yeah, the reason I'm over here as well is because for what I'm planning for the rest of the season in terms of my builds, we're going to be needing a few different things from here. Now as you can see, each of these costs a few diamond blocks, which is quite nice. So let's see, we've got some Jawas here, got some teddy bears, an ender dragon, a Pikachu, a Wookiee, and an AutoCrafter of the month, which is obviously my skin. Let's just, if I just do this, take off my helmet, yeah, that's obviously me. So yeah, what I'm wanting to do is let's dig out some diamonds. There we go. And what we're going to do is we're going to buy a few here and there. So let's just take out a stack. So let's take this one, so that's 2 diamonds. Let's take this one as well, which is another 2 diamonds. Personally, I'm not a fan of the Ender Dragon itself. I will take a Pikachu though. And a Wookiee. Yeah, I'm going to take one of the Wookiees. There we go. Also, one thing about the AutoCraft of the Month head, there's a bidding war going on for this right now. So 32 diamonds for Splash and then 30 diamonds for Boss. Personally, since this is my head, I won't be bidding, but any future bid, you know, AutoCraft of the Month heads or plushies, I will be making a bid on. So in terms of orders, we've got a 5 breeding pairs for Westside Iron, which should be easy enough to do. I do need to get in touch to see where he wants this breeder because let's just say he's working in quite a few areas, so we need to get in touch with him about that. But we also have another order with Lego Flame, but he made that order before the shop was up and running, so all the stuff we need is over at his base, including our payment. Alright, so we're over at Lego Flame's base. I don't know if this area is actually considered part of his base or just his mineshaft, because he does have a lot of base related things down here, like a spawner, cave spider grinder, and like some farms and things like that. But over here is where he wants the villager breeder. So he's got a rail line set up, so this villager breeder, basically what we're going to do is it's just going to be like the villager breeder we built before. In terms of the actual breeding pairs, we did originally have a number for that, but we never wrote it down anywhere, so we've both forgot. So I'm just going to go with like 5 breeding pairs, and then that should be more than enough villagers for his needs. So we need to make sure that the output system, we can put these villagers into minecarts, which should be easy enough. All you do is place a minecart, we'll push it up against the corner of the holding area, and then you'll be able to get a villager. We'll also use water to push them into the corners, so that makes things a lot easier. So yeah, what I'm going to do here is there's a lot of villagers just lying around, is I'm going to get started working on this thing. Lego was kind enough to supply us with 2 villagers, and if we pop in here real quick, some more villagers here as well. So this process of breeding and getting this thing up and running should be fairly quick. Now, since you've already seen the process of building this, make sure you go and watch my previous episode along with the shot that goes along with it if you just want to see the breeder itself. I'll just do this off camera and I'll bring you back once we have this thing ready to go. Alright, so we have this villager breeder for Lego Flame all installed, and in fact, he's looking at it right now. So yeah, this really didn't take all that long at all. It's quite simple really. What we're going to do is we're going to pop into spectator mode because there's some mechanisms that are kind of hidden behind the wall. So it's just a simple 5-cell villager breeder. The baby villagers fall down into these water streams, and they're then pushed into these water streams here where they're taken to an elevator that goes up here. They'll get stuck right here below this block. You can see where there's an air pocket here. This is actually a block of glass. They'll get stuck below that until they become adults, which they will glitch through the block, continue on down here. There's a Lego's webcam, not webcam, third-person camera. They'll then fall down here into the collection system. Now, there's only a few villagers in here. This system won't work, so you need to have it full of villagers, but it should be easy enough. But then what you do is you pick what direction you want it to go. So if you want to send villagers over that way, you make sure the rail is going that way, or if you want them going through the portal, you just click this and then it will go that way like so. Then you right click this button, a dispenser, down here, shoots out a minecart, pillars of rail, and if everything goes according to plan, if you've got enough villagers in here, it'll pick up a villager and then you can continue on in your merry way. So yeah, that is this thing all done. I've put a little label here, minecarts, how much villagers you can get theoretically per hour from this farm villager breeder. So that'd be 35 per hour with this designed and installed by myself, and then insert food above up in that chest. So what we're also going to do is we're going to provide a double chest worth of food, and we're going to test this design. So I'm going to use that double chest worth of food to roughly calculate how long a double chest of food will last. We'll then put a final label on this right here, and then Lego Flame will have a good idea as to how much food he'll need to fuel to get this thing working. Alright, so as you can see, we've got this breeder working, but it didn't work right away. Basically, I ran the breeder for a while. I put a shulker box of carrots into the system and ran it, and it went through the entire thing and never produced a single baby villager. I knew the villagers were breeding, or they were attempting to breed, but all the breeding attempts failed. That's because we had glass blocks where right next to, right just below those hoppers there. Now, when I originally designed this breeder and was doing my testing, that was fine. When I built the breeder last time and then bred a bunch of villagers on the server, those were fine. But for some reason now, they've started causing issues that were blocking pathfinding. Now, I don't know if that's an issue just with it being in this enclosed area, or if it's just a problem with this actual breeder itself. I need to test it out in the open again. So what I did was I replaced it with trapdoors. You can see one open and then the rest are closed, and those pulse and open and close continuously when this thing is running. But yeah, we have this thing working. There's a few minor tweaks I want to make to it, but I'm happy with this final result. Alright, so we made a ton of progress today. We got this iron farm, which is currently turned off behind me. We got it working. We got the villager breeder that Lego Flame ordered working and built, and we also surpassed 4,600 subs. Yeah, we're well on the way to 5,000, so I'd like to thank everyone for subscribing so far. Now, next episode is going to be a bit different in terms of both content and recording, because we're going to be doing another farm, but it's not going to be anything we've touched so far, so it'll be something completely brand new. And in terms of recording, we're going to be recording on a brand new PC, because tomorrow, so the day this video goes live, I'll be constructing my brand new system, which includes a Ryzen 9 5900X, and it's also meant to include an RTX 3080, but that hasn't been delivered yet because stock issues. So we're going to be running with the 1070 that I'm currently recording on. So yeah, new PC means videos should be higher quality, hopefully, amongst other things, and I might also consider streaming again. So if you're interested in that, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon so you're notified of all this stuff. Also, make sure you join the Discord, because I run a lot of things through there. I run the AutoCraft server through there. So if you want to communicate with other AutoCraft members, you can do so through the Discord. Don't ping everyone, because that's we don't like that. And yeah, if you just want to chill and become part of our community, why don't you join the Discord? I'd like to thank you all for watching this episode of the AutoCraft so far. Make sure you go and watch everyone else on the server. On the left hand screen right now, there are two videos, one that YouTube wants you to watch and one that I think you should watch. Make sure you go and watch them, and remember to leave a like, subscribe, and hopefully you will enjoy the videos.